Hi, good evening team. My name is Victoria. I will be talking about this week's readings about module number 3. So to get started, I'm going over the Catherine Ramirez case, People versus Zamora. I can identify how gender, identity, and language played a major role and influenced on the outcome of the case. Now, Mexican-American Pachucos or Pachucas, their subculture, they were seen as unpatriotic and un-American due to the incorrect grammar and their Mexican accents. And for the Pachucas ladies, they were seen as unladylike due to the differences, primarily because of their Pachuco slang, which was known as calo. For example, Chicanas' resistance towards gendering was different than the Chicanos. They refused to fall into a certain style because of what people portrayed them to be. An example of this was male speakers of Pachuco. Their slang was upheld as icons of resistance and of cultural affirmation, while female Mexican-American speakers have been criticized very heavily and mocked and even punished at times. Now, a female use of Pachuco slang was seen as taboo language and very unladylike to the point where they were silenced. So in this case, which was the People versus Zamora, they had an effect because these women that they were being trialed, they were partners or girlfriends of the Pachucos who had been charged with murder, of the murder of Jose Diaz. Now, being that they were seen as Pachucas, prosecutors were pushy on the way that they were asking certain questions and as far as the answers that they were getting from them. So what these ladies did basically, it caused them to use their silence as an advantage. What I mean by this was, like, they wouldn't answer the questions directly at the prosecutors. They wouldn't answer at all, or they would speak away from the microphone. Now, when it comes to the Hernandez versus the Texas case, although Hernandez was still found guilty of the murder, it did change the way trials and the jury work. What happened was that Hernandez lawyers, what they did was that they used the 14th Amendment of the Constitution, which basically it states equal protection of law is guaranteed to all citizens. By doing this and going through the trial again, Hernandez was not fighting that he was not guilty or his innocence. Basically, what he wanted was for him to be or go through the trial, but for the jury to be diverse, so people of his race to be part of the jury. At the end, the outcome, he was still found guilty. He was sentenced to 20 years of state prison, and he became eligible for parole in 1960. Now, the difference in the second trial was that the jury who retried him was made up of 9 Anglos and 2 Hispanics. So although it didn't really change the outcome as far as his case, it did change it as far as the legal system goes and how people are tried nowadays. So that was something good that came out of that. Now, as far as the East LA walkouts, or better known as the Chicano blowouts, that happened in 1968, where Chicano students basically had protests against unequal conditions as far as like how they were being taught in high schools. I did not know this before reading this week, so this was something new for me. And something that I was thinking about was that 1968 isn't too far along. My parents were born in the 1960s pretty much, so it's just shocking to me that it wasn't even that long ago and things like this were still happening. So things have changed with the years, and it only makes me wonder what else is going to change in the future. So I look forward to seeing everybody's videos, and I hope that everybody has a good night.